No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got episode 127 this week. We're going to go through the Premier League game week 32 fixtures and then also Arsenal and Liverpool's quarterfinal second leg. Before we get into it, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. And for those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. All of that stuff helps grow the pod. And I think this pod, like all of them, is going to be a fiery one. So just in case, the views expressed in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only, do not reflect the real opinions of any affiliated persons or organisations, just football banter from the four of us, plus Rhys, potentially Khem to join in a little bit. But before we get into it, I'm just absolutely cornered in every angle by Arsenal, man. How are you guys doing? Been a bit of a roller coaster week, huh?
That definitely warranted a pause, by the way. That sentence you just said.
And we're off.
Cornered. Yeah, cornered. Come on, man. Man can't even use the English language anymore.
It's been a roller coaster week, but it's been that roller coaster. You know, the one that they used to have at like Fort Park or whatever, where you just start bare high, and then they like edge you on the drop, and then as soon as you get a bit like fucking high, and then whoosh, and the whoosh feels like it is inevitable, but I am trying to remain positive. Yeah. Positivity.
Yeah. This one, there's been a lot of rage in the group chat. I'll put it this way: some in-house between these lot that are on the pod with me, and also obviously Khem. But I feel like that's just par for the course. Everyone gets angry with him. But yeah, let's get into it. There's nowhere to hide. 2 fixtures for Arsenal this week. 0-0 draw yesterday with Sporting, gets you through 1-0 on aggregate to the quarterfinals to face Atletico Madrid, and then obviously the weekend's fixture at home to Bournemouth, 2-1 defeat. It's been a rough week. We'll start with you, Jonts. How are you feeling after these 2 games? I know the Sporting one is kind of a win because you get through on aggregate, but it's a draw on the day. So, like, winless in these last 2 fixtures can go a bit. I know you beat Sporting before that, but there's been some tricky fixtures recently. Did either one of these games make you feel any better?
No. I don't think either of those two games would have made me feel better. The only thing is, I would say with the Sporting game, at the very least, it did not make me feel significantly worse. It's pretty much in line with how I was already feeling. So we got through, great. Happy to be in the semi-final again, great. But in terms of the performances, which is where it really matters, in terms of like the biggest area where we've been probably underperforming or not living up to the expectations of what Arsenal fans want, the performances were no better, right? Or the performance against Sporting at the very least was no better than what we saw against Bournemouth. It doesn't make me feel any better, but the consolation is this latest game against Sporting doesn't make me feel significantly worse. So life of an Arsenal fan right now, really.
Yeah, it's definitely, it doesn't, the sentiment and feeling around Arsenal doesn't feel like you're top and in the semi-final of the Champions League. I'll come to you, Reza, because I know with Io there's going to be some strong opinions on the performance side of things, so we'll squeeze you in. Oh, that's a pause. How are you feeling? Are you still underwhelmed by the recent performances, or is getting through the Sporting tie like Jonty just kind of keep you as you are and at least not make things worse?
As we all know by now, I am the most rational Arsenal fan on this podcast. And I try to be that rational Arsenal fan and think about the fact that, like, you know, over the course of a season, if you tell me at the end of the season, you know, you're going to lose this amount of games across all competitions, you're going to lose this amount of games in the Prem, you're going to have this many wins. Overall, you'd think, like, you know, on the swing of it, on the balance of it, it's a good season. And I think a lot of us have been trying to rationalize ourselves, or the more positive ones of us have been trying to rationalize ourselves out of that feeling that you're talking about, that panic, that worry, that concern, however you want to frame it. I think, you know, at the moment, it's not over until the fat lady sings, but like, I think everybody wants it to be a little bit less heart attack inducing than it is currently feeling. I think that's the fair middle of the road sentiment. I think on one end, you have the very fair and rational sort of like way of looking at it, which is like, you know, in the semi-finals, back to back in the Champions League, in the Prem. Okay, we've been knocked out of 2 cups, but they are 2 cups that I think the majority of Arsenal fans were less interested in or less invested in. And yeah, but then I also hear the other side of the argument when we're looking at it from a worrying trend of not really creating much and not looking like we're making much. And to be honest, it's been going on for a while, and it can't all be down to the fact that Saka's injured. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of there's more players on the team. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think I kind of understand for probably like the first time in the season, I have empathy with all the varying spectrum of Arsenal fan crash out and Delulu. Do you know what I mean? In the sense that, like, I hear man saying, like, bro, even if we lose this game, it's not the end of the world. And I also hear man saying, are you mad? Shut up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're in crisis mode. I don't know if, for once, I don't know if I can tell people I think you're bugging.
Yeah. I think it's the halfway house situation now. I feel like you've been more vocal certainly than these two about like not being satisfied with the performances and some of the team selections and Arteta in general. Is this just further kind of emphasizing how you feel about Arteta and the style of play and everything, or is this just the like growing pains you're going to go through to win your first title in 20 odd years? I'm assuming the former, but I have to ask you.
Yeah, no, I just think I think it's just been coming. Like, as it's like, I think even when we were winning games, I think we were scraping, like, not scraping, but obviously might have won. But set pieces were like our main source of goals. And obviously, I think once the set pieces dried up, which they have, I think the concern was always they're going to struggle creating anything, and that's what we have. And you go back to the beginning when we lost to you guys, and I said we looked poor again in that game. We had the whole get popped, and we didn't get popped debacle, and that was bad. And this has been games upon games since post January. We played Liverpool, that was a bad game, and then obviously I think the City game, I think it was coming, and obviously City picked up form, and you can just see that we just have no ideas, and we can say that injuries are a problem. We haven't had a fully fit team, but no one has a fully fit team. Like, it's just, this is what, I guess, he's been building this team for 6 years type of thing. So we should be ready and prepared for these situations. And the same way Rhys is saying that we are, like, obviously, yeah, like at the beginning of the season, you told us we lost 6 games or 7 games by now, you'd be buzzing. But the fact is, the fact we're top of the table and we're in the semi-finals of the Champions League and the feeling is not an oversensing like feeling of joy, I think says everything about how we have played this year, because it's just I don't think anyone's been happy with it. Like, we were winning games. People were saying the whole set pieces thing, like, that was a big talking point, saying we're not playing for corners, but but corners were like our main source of goals. The fact on goals were like second top goal scorer for like a period of this season. Like, so obviously when these things dried up and we haven't created chances, I knew like it was very obvious that this was going to happen. And now the chickens have come on to roost. We've lost. You kind of hype the fans up. You want to get everyone all motivated to play with like confidence. And I think everyone could kind of see that this whole rallying cry thing that we seem to always do before these games just don't seem to work, because you get everyone G'd up, or like if you're naive to think this is going to work, like, and the fans get all G'd up, you start saying the fans need to come with motivation, then the team comes out and we completely do not do that. It just kind of just feels so empty. And I just the fact we are in the Champions League semi-final, and the fact we're top of the table by 6 points now, or was it 7 points, whatever it is, and we're getting booed off the pitch by our fans at home in a game, top of the table with Arsenal Football Club. But at this point of the season, it's just crazy. And I think it just shows the kind of resentment and the kind of that angst that a lot of fans have been feeling. Not just me, but I think you can just kind of tell that these results are coming, the poor performances have been loading, and now if we're not getting these set piece goals, we're not creating nothing. And it's just, we can't say we don't have Saka, we don't have XYZ, we don't have Odegaard, we don't have these players. We built a squad in the summer, and yet now this squad, he hasn't utilised the squad. Now players' legs are running down to their bare bones, players get injured, and now we're here back in a situation where we're back in April, and I think every Arsenal fan knows when it comes to March and April, that's when usually our season crumbles. And hopefully that's not the same, but we've seen, I think that's why everyone's got PTSD. I've definitely got scar tissue. I know in March and April we used to hit with Wenger. This when we'd get knocked out every 4 competitions in the space of 3 weeks. That was the standard. So it's lasted a bit longer now, but I just don't really, I'm not excited to see what's coming. And obviously the City game on Sunday is going to be, could be eye-opening, and see how that pans out, really.
So off the back of that, then, I guess the question to all of you, and any one of you can jump in for this, like, do you still feel confident that, I mean, you're 6 points clear for context, City got a game in hand, and you've obviously got this double header, or 6-pointer, sorry, with them this weekend. Are you still confident that Arsenal will win the league this season? Any one of you can jump in and answer it, but it'd be good to get all of your opinions.
I'm as confident as I have been throughout the season, which is like, I think we've got a good chance. I feel like it's not insane to say we would win the league, but throughout this entire season, I think generally, leaving the doomers like Ayo to one side, generally the vibe from most Arsenal fans has been like at the beginning of the season, and it ties interestingly into what Ayo was just saying, because I feel like Ayo has just told us a bunch of things that everybody else didn't like about Arsenal throughout the season. In the sense, at the beginning of the season, people were like, oh, well, it's the beginning of the season. Then when we established a bit of a lead, maybe got into pole position around game week 7 or whatever, it became well, you're doing all of this scoring from set pieces. Do you know what I mean? Then we started scoring some more goals from open play, and it was more talking about the fact that we scored from our goals. And do you know what? We have failed to be creative recently. We've had a breakdown and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the level of confidence that I have at the beginning of the season, everyone was predicting that, some people were saying that, we were going to finish 3rd or 2nd again anyway. Do you know what I mean? So the level of confidence that I have in us to do it isn't really being affected by this. I think I've said it on the pod before, at no point in time have I heard anybody, apart from when rival fans are trying to run an agenda, say Arsenal are good enough to win the league by 10 points. So it's when we've got a 9-point lead and it gets a bit shaved and it gets shaved again. I don't know where this big drop off in expectations is. I still expect us to challenge. I still expect us to bloody turn up and do something between now and the end of the season. I think we're in a good position to win it. But form is important in football, and I think that's where the shakiness and the PTSD and that comes in. But yeah, same level of confidence that I had before, which was, I don't know if I'd call it confident. Hopeful.
I mean, the thing I'd say is, how many teams in Man City Pep era are ever confident of winning the league unless they are literally 15 points ahead? I mean, no one is ever confident when you've got Man City chasing you, especially when you've been here twice before. Obviously not including last season because we were nowhere near, but if we've been here twice before and we've been chased down by that exact team, how could we ever be confident without literally a 15-point lead, right? And I think, to Rhys's point, the confidence is made up by a variety of different factors, right? It's made up by how we are performing, but it's made up by how those around us are performing, right? And so the confidence levels were likely higher earlier on in the season when Man City were not playing as well as they currently are, right? But you combine the fact that internally now, when we look at Arsenal, we are not performing as well as we were earlier in the season. Our gap or our lead over Man City is smaller, right? Or is not like massively convincing. And Man City seem to be picking up form. So, I mean, I think out of all of it, my confidence is probably as low as when we were like 2 points ahead. You know, I can't remember how many weeks ago, like game weeks ago it was, you know, and probably like, I think game week 22 or something around there. My confidence is probably around that level, right? And yeah, I think the point on Io, and the reason why I argue with him, right, is because in what he's just said, you've used all of the tropes basically that all rival fans use against us, aka we don't score enough open play goals. We're all just counting on set pieces. When the set pieces dry up, we've got nowhere else to go. We've scored the second most open play goals in the league, right? Man City have scored 63 and we've scored 62. So we're scoring set piece goals, but we're definitely not only relying on them, right? We've broken our record for set piece goals, but we've also scored a hell of a lot of open play goals. And the nearest team next to us is like 9 goals off of us. Well, no, actually, sorry. Man United are 5 goals off of us, right? So this is the part that annoys me, is like you want to use all of those exact tropes that people use against us that are clearly just trying to get banter and get something over on us, and then use it as like a legitimate argument about why we are so bad. And don't get me wrong, there's parts of your argument that are right. We aren't performing well, right? It's clear. I'd probably say the last 5-6 game weeks, maybe more, and I'm not including kind of Champions League in that. We have, from what I've seen, had a pretty significant drop-off. I'm not even going to say in the amount of chances we create. It's just in the fluidity of our attack. And it was the big thing that I called out. I think me and Razor were on here before. And it just looks like some of our players have not actually ever trained together. It happens multiple times where we hang on to the ball one touch too long. The player who already made the run is now kind of pulling back because they want to stay on side. And then he plays the ball and the ball goes flying away, you know, out for a throw in or out for a corner, or just straight to the defender. And that's the part I think over the last 6 weeks-ish has got significantly worse. The fluidity of our team just looks awful. It looks like we haven't trained together. It looks like we barely play together. But again, that's a different argument than saying that we just rely on set-piece goals and that, you know, we're the ugliest team to watch ever and this, that, and the other. It's like we just rely on own goals. Like, it's a petty argument that all of our rival fans use against us. And even they're not serious when they say it, right? The fans that come out and say it's awful to watch us, that's fair. I'd actually argue that's true. But when we're using these crazy, like fucking hyperbole statements about, oh, we're just relying on set pieces and own goals, it just completely cheapens the whole argument.
I didn't say we relied. I said there was a point in the season where set pieces were our main source of goals, which was a big factor.
Yeah, and then you said once they dried up, we can't score.
In the first 3 months. And exactly. So now...
But you also said once they dried up, we can't score.
Yes.
Is that
and
true, yes or no?
Now we went to the second half of the season.
When was the last time we scored a set-piece goal?
Exactly, a long time ago. And
how many goals have we scored in between that time?
When was the last time we've looked...
How many goals have we scored in between that time?
When was the last time we looked dominant? My point remains.
How is that anything to do with your previous point? Your previous point was when set piece goals dry up, we can't score. Now you're telling me it's about dominance. You're moving the goalpost in the middle of your argument. If you're going to make a hyperbolic statement, back that statement up. Don't dance around and run to your next statement.
My point remains.
Your point is still shit and still wrong though, because you still haven't answered my point. How many goals have we scored since our last set piece goal?
I don't know how many goals you scored. You tell me.
Exactly, because you don't watch the games, bro.
You tell me. Tell me then.
When was the last time you watched the full 90 of Arsenal? When was the last time you watched the full 90 of Arsenal? You couldn't answer my last question, so answer this one.
Exactly.
You couldn't answer my last question, so I'll pose a new one. When was the last time you watched the full 90? It shouldn't be a hard question to answer. When was the last time you watched the full 90?
Let the point land and then we'll go back.
It retains my point. Back to my point anyway. Can I make a point? It's up to you. Your point hasn't hit.
If you're going to make a point that's completely off the point that I just made in response to the point that you originally made, then what's the point?
Because I'm referring back to it. You said I referred to set pieces, which I did.
A drinking game when someone says point.
I said at the point in the season, the
make
set
a point
pieces dried up, and we have not looked dominant. The second half of the season, which has been my point from January. What have we done?
That wasn't the point that I called out. I agree with you. We are not dominant.
That's your opinion, exactly. And I'm referring
exactly. I didn't make a point that we are dominant. So why are you making a point that I didn't say?
I'm referring to what I'm saying. But anyway, back to it. As I said, you guys are all related back to Antony's statement, and I'm now responding to Anthony's question that he asked us. Since post January, we have not looked the same team, and that has been coming because we have not been creative enough. The same way you say our creativity or lack of XG, all that nonsense, we've not done any of that, and it has been coming. You can say we scored open play goals. Yes, we have done that, but since post January, these results have been coming, and now they come on to roost. Yes, City, we can't be. I'd never say felt confident we're going to win the league because that's just based on prior, as I said, scar tissue and Arsenal being in these races and bottling the last few years. So I've never been entirely confident we're going to win the league, even though we're being top by 9 points or 8 points, whatever it has been the gap. And now City have picked up their form. I think a lot of our gap, as much as we were getting these results and scraping by, was because City were dropping points as well. Now City have turned on, and City have now picked up their form. Obviously, the pressure's on us now. I'm not going to say that I'm overly confident that we're going to win the league this year. Obviously, we should win the league because from the position we're in, we are in the best position to win that league. But the way City are moving, the way we are moving, obviously City, they can smell blood in the water. And so right now, as an Arsenal fan, obviously nerves are going to be ratcheted up. And obviously looking at our performances, why would City ever fare us? The Carabao Cup game was a big chance for us to lay a marker down and show City that actually we're made of something different. But now they've laid a blueprint for every other team how to play against us. And that's what every other team is doing against us right now. And so now, obviously the next 5-6 weeks left of the season, if we lose the City, they've got 3 points behind us and a game in hand. And so, yeah, as an Arsenal fan, to answer back to Anthony's point, I literally have, in terms of confidence, I'd say I'm less confident now than I was pre-January that we're going to win the league. And, yeah, obviously, if we lose this game on Sunday, or Saturday or Sunday, then I generally think then, the league may be, unfortunately done for us because I just don't see how, confidence-wise, pressure-wise, and the fact City are going to have such a huge psychological advantage over us. I think City was feeling like there's no reason why they can't be champions again this year.
Yeah, it's high jeopardy, isn't it? Because I was looking, I saw a City fan talk about the permutations of the result right on Sunday. Obviously, if you guys draw, massive result for you. Doesn't win you the title, but you're firmly in a positive position. Obviously, if you win it, dreamland. I wouldn't again say it's over, but you'd need a crazy miracle from City's angle and collapse from your angle for it to go that way. But weirdly enough, if they do win, and then they win the game in hand, I think they're top because your goal difference will revert right down to the same as theirs, but they've scored more goals overall. So it would then completely put everything in their hands, and then obviously you're going band for band every week to see who gets a better result, essentially, and whoever drops it would then be over. The point about set piece goals, Jonty, I don't know if you've got the stat around it. I think set pieces for Arsenal, right? The rival fan thing is obviously banter, like you guys have all mentioned. But the thing that has been super useful and has completely worked in your favor is you've often looked to set pieces to break the deadlock in games where it's been a stalemate or it's been a team's played a low block or maybe the fluency stuff on your side hasn't been that good. And I don't know if you've got the stat, John, the last time you scored a set piece goal to open the deadlock or take a lead, but it does feel like it's been a minute since you've scored those kind of goals. So do you think there is some credence to, I know that's not Io's exact point, but do you think there's some credence to that being a bit of a risky ploy to rely necessarily on them when things are going wrong in terms of the fluency argument? Because it does obviously change the game when you do go ahead.
Well, I mean, the first thing you have to look at, right, is by what margin have we been winning games, right? And if you look at the most of the games, right, I particularly like to completely glaze over this, right? Most of the games that we've won have been by a 1 or 2 goal margin, right? And there's been a few games where we've played really well and won by a 3-4 goal margin, right? Like the 2 games against Leeds, the games against Tottenham, etc. So just based off of that fact, if we're going to be winning by a 1 goal margin and it's a 1-0 game, then of course, yes, a set piece goal will be the one that breaks the deadlock. But to say that we rely on it to win, I don't think that that's necessarily true. And it depends on what your definition of rely on means. Because there's been a lot of games where we've scored open play goals to win the game, but yet everybody says that we're just relying on set pieces and corners in order to win games. And it's like, how many of our goals have come open goals? How many of them have been game-winning goals? And that's where, like, no one wants to provide any of the stats on that. They just talk about, oh, it feels like you guys score a lot of your winning goals from set pieces. And don't get me wrong, there are multiple games where we have won a corner and then scored a goal from it. And that's the reason why we ended up winning that game. But yeah, I mean, getting back to your original point, like, set piece goals, when they dry up, do we think that that is like going to be a big problem for us? Of course it's going to be a problem for us, because it's one of the ways that we score goals, and particularly in those deadlock situations where the team doesn't have to necessarily come out and play, we end up facing the lowest block and the lowest the lowest centre-back line or defensive line. Any team, even Man City, have an average of 13 metres deeper when they play against us versus anyone else in the league. And there's numerous stats out there that show that pretty much every single team we play drops deeper than they play against any other team. And we're nil with a team like that. Most teams that want to come and play against us, they're happy with a draw for the most part, right? So when it's 0-0 and we don't have a way to pull them out, then yeah, a set piece might be the only way that we end up, we have a true chance of getting a goal in those type of games, particularly if they're defensively solid. So yes, if those things tend to dry up, then we are going to have challenges. But to say that we entirely rely on them, well, not even you. I'm not saying you did say entirely, but to say that we rely on set piece goals to win us games all the time, I don't think is even true.
If you've got spring fever, Lowe's has the cure. During SpringFest, make your landscape stand out with 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh all season long. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it to win games. I meant more to like break the deadlock, and then you obviously change the game state, which will naturally happen if that happens. Rhys has joined the pod. What up, bro? You've entered the Arsenal segment, so you can just enjoy. Razor, how do you feel with all this set piece chat and just generally the style of play and everything like that? Do you think it's a fair argument to not be happy with whatever the level of reliance on set piece goals there is, or do you think it's just a...
I'm going to say this, and I've been quiet for a while. Like, you can run the tapes. I've actually just been sat here, like, listening to these two argue, listening to them go back and forth, talking about, like, confidence levels or whatever else. Like, Ayo, you're a liar, for starters. Like, you are a liar. Like, let's be honest, yeah, because just now you were saying you were pining for the time pre-January, when in that time pre-January, you were complaining about the style of football that we were playing at that point in time. I remember distinctly.
I was doing what? Pining for it? No, I'm asking for the clarify. How can I pine? Don't say I'm pining for something.
KDB, let me talk.
Repeat yourself. Just repeat yourself. It's a very simple question.
I'm saying since January we've looked shaky. The chickens have come home to roost. I predicted this. Me and Thierry are shush. Because in November or in October, exactly. when we were doing all of this, yeah, and we were talking about, we're top of the league. Me and Jonty have literally asked you this multiple times on the pod. I think one time we were like, was it 9 points clear, 10 points clear at the top of the table? And you were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, if this football gets us to the point where we win the league, are you going to care about that? And you were like, I hate watching this football, innit? So the style of football, however we were winning goals, however we were getting goals, however we were winning games, you were already dissatisfied. And the reason that I said that you're lying is because that has been the theme throughout the season. Oh, I'm dissatisfied with this player. Arteta needs to hang. He needs to go to The Hague for playing this player. The player that you want to get played gets played, doesn't perform, isn't able to move the needle. You move on to a different fixation about Arteta. And you know what? I actually understand the way it is. Like, put simply, you've said it yourself already on this stream. You have PTSD about this part of the season, about this run-in, about this situation. But like, don't join, in my opinion, I'll say, don't join the people online. I don't know if you've seen that tweet. It's like everyone disengages their brain when it comes to Arsenal. Like, everyone wants to be mad unserious with their thinking, and common sense isn't common anymore. But like, let's be serious, man. Like, we've done how many episodes this season, bro? Like, the tapes are there. You can go back and run them. Like, there's not been any point in this season, regardless of how well we were performing, that you have been positive or confident or complimentary of the situation. And that's fine. That's okay. You're entitled to have an opinion. But this provisionism where you're basically being like, oh yeah, like we were scoring, like, it's, bro, we were scoring goals from set pieces. We stopped scoring goals from set pieces. We continue to score goals, as Jonty said. It's not like we stopped scoring goals. It's not like we were winning games 6-0, 7-0, and then we started winning them by only 1 or 2 when the set piece goals dries up. Everything Jonty said is factual. It's factual. And at the end of the day, when we look at it over the course of the season, I personally think it's a way of assuaging and dealing with the PTSD. It's your stress management. Certain man hit like a little bit of this, certain man drink a little bit of this, certain man go out and do other stuff, and you just buy into Nigerian uncles on Twitter saying whatever
again,
about
there's again. So where is this? Let me talk.
For half an hour. We've been talking about Arsenal for half an hour, yeah. When Antony asked you about the games that happened in the past week, 2 of them, by the way, 2 of them that we didn't put up convincing performances in, you didn't really have anything to say, bro.
Yes, because he did. Mate, Antony's question was literally, how are you feeling about this season? He started with you two. I was the first person. What I'm saying is there's no reason for your level of confidence. Yeah, you're coming out and you're being like, bro, look, don't gaslight me, bro. Look at what your thing's called. TT and Ayo knows better. Knows best. We've had all of these convos. Like I said, the tapes are there. Anyone who's watched, I let them roll. I let you. Literally,
like, your stick
again. Back to my point.
Your stick is, I'm going to be a pessimist. If we win, I get to be happy because Arsenal win, and if we lost, I get to say I was right. And it's okay, bro. Like, it's fine. Like, we get your angle.
And that's, mate, I've not, again, back to my point. I've said this, I even said this, go back to the pods, run the tapes, as you love to say. I think when we played Forest and I was like, oh yeah, even if we win these games with these scrappy games and these set piece goals, if it gets us to the league, that's the main thing that matters. I've said that on the pod. I've said that numerous times on the pod. I said I don't like the football we play because I'm never going to like the football we play. But if it gets us to the Premier League, that is fine. And I'm now saying, but and when it was working and we were getting these wins, whether it's from a set piece goal, are you saying, as Johnson said, it's a good way to break down these teams is through a set piece, which is very true. And so obviously if the team play these low blocks and they don't come out, a set piece goal is what's going to get them to come out. Boom. That was working. You can't look at every single game week. You can't look at every single game week in a vacuum and pretend there's no context within the season. We were playing beautiful football in 22-23. I lie. Some of the best football that we've seen in this era. My whole point was Arteta's football. Because we were playing that great football. We were struggling to break down teams because we weren't got us nothing. Exactly. We went and got a more physical team. Teams saw how good we were at playing, and then what did they do? They started sitting lower. So we came up with a new thing to do to try and break down teams. Exactly. During the course of this season, teams have clocked onto that. But like the difference is I'm struggling to understand what like man's saying in terms of being like, oh yeah, because when you and Jonty were going back and forth and Jonty was making the valid points that he was making, I was just sat here listening to it. But all I'm saying is, bro, like I said before, you can have a difference of opinion. I actually empathize, like I said before, with the whole spectrum of Arsenal fan opinions right now. I hear the PTSD, I hear the stress, yeah. But like,
like, is it not exhausting doing the whole like, oh yeah, like, see, I knew it was gonna be like this shtick. When like, bro, like, it's
when again, this whole lack of what are we doing here? This whole lack of positivity or this negativity. My point has remained from the beginning. I've not liked the football. I've said to you, the reason this football changed, you said we play attacking football, it didn't win us something. The reason I said this football changed is because Arteta's most likely seen it. We didn't get to the Prem with this offensive, fluid football, and now he's going to this. Let's play pragmatic. Let's play systematic. Let's just make sure we have a solid foundation. Which is that's fine. If it wins you the title, that's his way to do it. I'm not gonna like it though, and that's my personal preference. And
that's
so,
fine. You have PTSD about the whole situation. But at some stage, can I finish? Can I take some responsibility?
Can I finish?
Bro, you don't watch highlights. I've been to the Emirates twice in a week, and I'm gonna tell you what I saw twice in a week. A bunch of professional footballers who did not look like professional footballers. You can't blame everything on the gaffer and the system. The system has worked. We've won more games this season than we have at any other point in time.
Amazing, and that is great. Exactly. And my point still remains. We have not. You can tell me that it's not Arteta, it's the players. The players could be cowards. The players could be fearful. Both things can be true. Like, it's not the fact that they're not mutually exclusive. Yes, the players should be, and they should be doing a lot better. But also the manager should be doing a lot better, and that is my thing. And I've said to you, it has been coming. These performances, when you sub against Liverpool, and you go negative against Liverpool in the third or fourth game season. Boom, boom. You play them again. We go when Liverpool are there for the taking. You don't pull the gauntlet. You don't do it. These are the games I'm saying. Yes, that it could build confidence. It might not build confidence, but again, it said something about your mindset. And now we are in this crisis point in the season, critical point in the season, should I say? And now you can say, oh, teams play this low block. Bournemouth didn't play a low block against us, but they came out against us and said that we know that we now have a blueprint because of Man City. We now know that we can do this against Arsenal Football Club because the players do need to step up. You can say, oh, I favour players because of X, Y, Z. Oh, I want to see Eze play. Boom, boom. That's all fine. But again, it's multiple players in the team that aren't stepping up. And so it's not just about, oh, I'm favouring the players that were reliable in the first half season aren't reliable right now. They've made mistakes. They're slipping up. And these are all factors that are playing that could be.
Did you watch the game against Bournemouth and against City? Because they did not play the same way. So when you say that Man City have set the blueprint, who the fuck has got Cherky and Haaland in their team that they're going to be setting the blueprint and try and copy that?
It's about the press. It's about the press, and it's not about it's about the press on what they're doing to our team. Exactly. There's a reason they know that I'm
the Cup final introduced pressing to the English game of English.
No. So this is the nonsense is beginning. Thank you.
Because the truth is it's partially true, right? Because it's not the same. It's not exactly the blueprint, right? Because obviously, like Johnson's mentioned, you can't blueprint Cherky, right? My man's just a mad thing. You can't blueprint that. But what you can blueprint is, or copy, is like this slightly standoffish approach to pressing the keeper and the defense and forcing the ball down certain channels or over the top or whatever. And to a certain extent, Bournemouth did copy some of that. But I will say that I think we
played Kepa in the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, the games played out differently.
Did we play Kepa against Bournemouth?
Yeah, the games played out differently.
Bournemouth, but you saw how they played. But you saw how we played against Bournemouth. We were going long up to the top. We were going long because they didn't let us have time on the ball. They didn't.
So what happened yesterday then? Did Sporting not see that game?
And did we look good yesterday?
Did they do the same thing though? Have they copied the blueprint as well? Yeah.
No, but I'm not saying. But I'm saying we didn't look good yesterday. They didn't need to because we didn't play well. I'm saying.
So now they didn't need to because we didn't play well, but at the same time, it's also that everyone's got the blueprint now of how to beat us. Yeah.
What are we? But teams can now see. Teams have
want it every different way that you want to argue one thing and then immediately move to another topic afterwards. Right? It's just like the same stuff with what you said about the set pieces. You flip flop between whatever.
Anthony can understand the point. I don't get.
What I was going to say is the reason that I disagreed with it, is because United beat us. I would say that United's form of beating us, even though their team, they've obviously got very different sort of talents and within their squad, and they have a very different setup in terms of how Carrick has been setting them up. But ultimately, I think United's success came from a very similar ethos against us, even though it wasn't the same blueprint in terms of We know that there are players and spaces in which we can cause them to be uncomfortable on the ball. We know that Arsenal are used to people sitting. We're used to Arsenal. We know Arsenal have become accustomed to teams sitting off and they just have lots and lots of possession and they're not used to being made uncomfortable and made to like think. And when you do that to them, especially, and we've seen it, bro. Like was it Southampton? Like we're seeing our experienced players doing that, panicking, getting rattled and giving away the ball. And one thing that I would say that United did that is similar to, if we were looking for similarities, that is similar to what City did, that is similar to what Southampton did, is they were clinical when they were presented with their chances. And I don't think that's something that we could describe Arsenal Football Club as being this season. If you get presented with 2 or 3 chances in the game, you're killing it off like kill off Kelly. That's what teams are doing against us. They're playing high octane, high energy, pressing football. And when they're getting the chances, they know that we've got a good keeper, potentially based on form, world-class keeper. We potentially based on form, world-class defense. So they're looking to seize those chances. And if we're really being honest, we talk about creativity and chance creation. I've seen great teams where led by players who they don't get a lot of chances. Haaland doesn't need 14 chances to bury a goal in a game. Cherky doesn't need 14 chances to make something happen. Even in Williams, Kinder Bueno, when he was playing well earlier in the season and that, he wasn't needing 32 chances in a game to get a goal.
Yeah, it's clinical.
And we're seeing our forwards, we're seeing players like Trossard, players like Martinelli that were doing this earlier in the season. And even if it was the one goal that we were getting and winning by, they were getting that one goal. Now we are failing to get that one goal in 90 minutes. Or when we're getting the one goal, we're conceding. So really, truthfully, I think that is the important. Bournemouth, that's like, come on.
This is the important point, right? So if you do the math, right, for the first half of the, or so let's say until basically the end of the year, right? So until the end of 2025, listen to these stats, okay? We scored on average 1.95 goals per game, and we conceded 0.74, right? This is the point that I'm trying to make, that we are putting our energy on the wrong thing. Because guess what? From the beginning of 2026 until now, how many goals have we scored per game since then? 1.92. So we're 0.03 off of how many goals we were scoring before. So our goal threat has not really decreased. It's been a minimal decrease, almost not noticeable. But guess how many goals we're letting in per game since the turn of the year? From 0.74 or 73, we've gone to 0.92. We're letting in far more goals than we ever did before. So we want to talk about the attack. The honest truth is, if you look at these stats, the attack ain't any different. We're scoring about the same number of goals per game, but the results aren't as good. And it's particularly been in that last, let's say, 10 games, including all of our competitions, where it's been a challenge, right? Of the last 10 games we've played, we've won 5, drawn 2, and lost 3. So we're talking about the attack. And yes, the attack is not pretty to watch. It's not, it's not beautiful total football or anything else like that, but it's still effective. We're still scoring goals. The problem that we've got right now, and no one's calling it out because we haven't had a bunch of stinkers here, there, and everywhere else, but we're letting in far too many goals than we were before. So we can talk about our attack all day long, but it's just as much, if not more, our defense at the moment. And again, Gabriel, there hasn't been like
I'd love to see the percentage from errors of the goals in this era as well. And I think that's a big difference. Like, our defense looked calm, cool, and collected at the start of the season. And it's not that they're not top players. Raya's been playing his fucking skin off, but a lot of the massive saves that he's had to make, they've been because people have fucked up. Even in games like Tottenham, where we've won like by a big margin, the goal that they came from a pretty much unforced defensive error. And these are the modes of concentration, and these are like the things that are like, I think have been like the big difference. But when we talk about it, people are talking about, we're going long, or Madueke this, or Trossard that, or Gyökeres is a kebab shop owner, or whatever the narrative about Arsenal is this week, innit? And I get it, and like, I love a bit of banter. I love a good storyline as well, innit? Like, look, Rhys has got Sky Sports fan fiction in the background behind him, bro. Apparently, the average Manchester City fan, for starters, the average Manchester City fan is the kind of person that would keep an empty plastic bottle, and it had to be empty because he snuck it into the stadium, an empty plastic bottle in his jacket pocket for 2 years for the opportunity to do this. Man said his team won the league that season, and let me hold on to this Arsenal bottle. This is a great trinket, bro. Like whatever in it, but like if we're gonna watch the football, if we're gonna talk about the football, that's something that I can say. Like I don't know how much of the blame that we can put on Arteta, and I don't know how much of the blame that we can put on like being like, oh yeah, like the system's this, the football's that. The football's the same as it was when we were 9-10 points clear or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? It's just being less effective. If you argue with somebody the same way every day for a year, they're going to get better at debating you because they've grown used to your methods. That's essentially what we're seeing, bro. It's not game week 2 anymore. That's literally what's going on. Broski, don't believe everything you read on Twitter. Man are talking about like, oh yeah, they were booing us even though it's... Brother, we were booing the player that decided to push Gabriel Jesus after the final whistle. Sky Sports aren't going to review that. It happened right in front of the North Bank where I was sitting. Sky Sports aren't going to report that because it doesn't serve their agenda. They're not going to serve that. They're not going to tell you that even though it's right in front of them, but they can be at my man from Rhys's background's house in less than 24 hours, interview his entire bloodline about the Arsenal bottle. Like, cool, bro. We did not play well against Bournemouth. We did not play well against Bournemouth. We did not play well against Bournemouth. I actually think against Sporting, I don't really care whether we played well because it's similar to when we played against Chelsea in the Carabao. I think it was earlier in the season, and they came to our gaff for the second leg, and everyone was like, Arsenal didn't really do anything. Bro, we didn't fucking have to. We were up on aggregate. We were in control of the game. We didn't really let them have too many chances. Would I have loved to have seen a goal? Yeah. I paid 80 odd quid for a fucking ticket. It would have been lovely. But, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's too panicky. It's too like, oh, I'm so like, bro, the season ends and then the next season happens, isn't it? Like, this season is not last season. If we flop this season, it's going to be independent of how we didn't win last season. And it's just like, are we talking about football or are we talking about emotions? Because I love you, man, and we talk about our emotions all the time, innit? But I thought we were talking about football. And we haven't analysed the last 2 games at all. Yeah. And we were shit. There's more than enough stuff to say about how we were shit in both of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go... Rhys, you've been waiting there, man. And you've obviously got your own manager as well who likes to say interesting things in the press. Do you think Arteta gets some of this flack sometimes because people are using the slightly quirky things he's saying in the press to then kind of pick holes in other things that are going on? Or do you think it is something that he's doing wrong? Like, I ask you, you've obviously got Rosinha, so, you know, he's always in the press as well for things he says. So from your experience, do you think that's the reason why?
No, I definitely think it can be used to create a narrative, but I don't think that's sort of the reason why maybe Arsenal's run of form hasn't been the best. Obviously, it doesn't help, does it? Like, because you want to just shut up and get on with it. But when your manager's coming out and saying mad things, or like videos are coming out of TikTok videos being played in training or whatever them lot are doing, like it just doesn't help with when the form's not going. And I think people will just use it as an excuse to maybe just to dig at Arteta, but I don't think it's that particular reason why maybe like Arsenal aren't maybe playing as well as they can be. But I think it's been a long season as well. Maybe like they've maybe run out of steam as well at the same time. Like teams maybe are working them out a bit more. So yeah, but I just think it's maybe the nerves as well. They need to kind of not be in there because they haven't been there, and that's the thing. Like it's maybe that sort of nervousness is creeping in. Like they're going into games, and maybe if they're not scoring in the first half, it's that the pressure's on them, isn't it? Like they're the ones that need to get away from Man City. So I think it's a combination of things. I don't think it's just one thing that's affecting Arsenal right now. But I do think they do need that mentality more than anything, more than ever, because anything else like noise is just noise. Like all that stuff about Arteta in the media, it's just noise, isn't it? Like, but I just think now City are creeping up on them, so I just think they need that sort of mentality to go on and
Yeah, and I think that it's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario, right? We're talking about, okay, Arteta says some quirky things in the press, and that's why everyone goes after them and builds pressure and so on and so forth. At the same time, any tiny thing he does gets called out immediately. We saw certain other teams playing hopscotch, playing patty cake, and no one said anything about them, right? Look at them; they're fucking lagging in the league, and no one said anything about them. As soon as anything comes out about Arsenal, I mean, he's got it in his background right now. As soon as there's anything to talk about with Arsenal, it's being talked about immediately in the most negative way possible. And you were with me. You saw this when we were abroad, this weekend. Everybody fucking hates us. It doesn't matter if you're a Stoke fan, a Brentford fan, a Chelsea fan, whoever. Every single person that I saw in that pub told me, I hope you lot lose. I hope you don't win the league. And all of these Sky Sports and all these different media outlets, they play off of that. So when my man comes out with a 3-year-old bottle that's definitely getting microplastics into his sack, he's front page news, and they're going to go and, have a profile of his whole family, right? And he's going to talk about how, his son was about to faint and we gave him a bottle, so he's kept it for 2 years so that he could do this in the background of us losing. That is just what we're up against right now. And I don't know where it comes from. I understand people keep saying Arsenal fans are so unbearable and this, that, and the other. That's fair enough. I can believe that. But if you're telling me that we're markedly more unbearable than any other fans around, you're talking out your ass. Because I've seen Man United fans, Chelsea fans, Man City fans, of the ones that actually exist, Liverpool fans, etc., go wild and say the craziest shit on Twitter and wherever else we're saying Arsenal fans are mad. And no one's calling them out. Right? Well, maybe partly because they're not close to any, most of them are not close to winning the league. But my point is, it's building pressure on us because every single thing we do is under the microscope. Whether if Eze comes out and says anything, okay, he's under the microscope. If Madueke wears a knee brace, he's under the microscope. If we pull players out of international duty, like many managers before us have done, like Fergie was renowned for doing, it's a big story. When my man gets the bottle out, he's now front page news. He's going to be a Z-list celebrity. I'm sure he'll be on fucking the next round of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Everything is just around just making fun of us as much as physically possible. And so, of course, that builds pressure. And that's why he gets...
And he likes Jesus, by the way.
Exactly.
Just for flipping, I think Eze got bantered more for saying that he wants his legacy to be that everything that he does glorifies God. As part of an interview with a Christian interviewer in a section about his faith than, any criticism of his performances. And he's had a lot of performances where he hasn't really shown up. But this is the thing, innit? And this is what I'm saying in it. So I get the banter. I don't have a problem with the banter, to be honest. If we don't win, we don't win. You bantering about it isn't going to make my life any different in it. It's part of football, innit? But I think when we're talking about football, that's when it becomes dangerous, when the banter becomes the analysis of the football, and the football can be uninspiring, and the football can be underwhelming, and the form can be disappointing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be point your finger towards the topic of why this, that, and the third is that this season. Do you know what I mean?
We've got Guillaume Balaguer coming out and fucking defending us with essays on Twitter. It's getting to the point where randomers are just looking at us and thinking, what the fuck is going on in England?
We're becoming one of the most supported, newly supported clubs by fans in America and stuff, because they're just everyone hates these guys. Cool.
It's not the football.
I'm going to join these guys.
It's not the football. That's encouraging.
They're, do you know what I mean? It's weird to me, that there's this fixation around the club that extends beyond the football. Do you know what I mean? But that's fine, isn't it? It's whatever. That's part and parcel of the team, isn't it? Cool.
Big boy club football.
Yeah, but why is it when we're talking about the football, it always goes back to being about I don't know, all the things that people dislike, or
perceived to be wrong with Arsenal. It also doesn't make any sense from the point of view of like, if this were an American sport, yeah, everyone hates the Yankees, everyone hates like the Lakers, everyone hates those big dynasty teams that have, they consider to have bought the league and this, that, and the other. We ain't them. We're the fucking Houston Rockets in terms of our history or whatever, and yet everybody fucking hates us. Imagine if everyone came out in the NFL or in the NBA or whatever else and said, you know what? Let's all hate the fucking Denver Nuggets. Yeah, fuck the Denver Nuggets and fuck the Spurs. How does that make any sense? And everyone's just giving Lakers and the Knicks a bly and saying, yeah, we don't care about you lot. It's all on the fucking Denver Nuggets now.
Times are changing, bro. Times are changing.
The last thing I'll say on this, is that it's reached a point of madness, like Johnson saying. Like I saw a QPR fan put up in a story earlier. On Sunday, we get to drink Arsenal tears. It's like, okay.
Bro, this is like the Stoke situation. Bro, this is like the Stoke situation.
QPR, like,
I got damn near fucking abused in a pub in the middle of fucking Krakow by some lady from Stoke.
Yeah,
I didn't say
she was
nothing
very
to her.
angry.
And she was livid at me, and she was going at me from across the pub when I was trying to watch the football and saying, "Oh, wait until after the commentary's finished so that I can hear you." I'm just like, bro, who the fuck are you? You got to worry about Wrexham when you're chatting to me.
Yeah,
it's mad. Like,
it was wild.
It's fun in that sense, but yeah, like I said, when we're talking about the football, Arsenal have been relatively consistent across the season. It hasn't been super like I don't know, bro. Like first game week of the Prem, 1-0 win at United. You know what I mean? Liverpool 1-0 loss, 0-0 draw. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like if we get a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw against City on Sunday, like, people would be like, "Oh, Arsenal," but that would be a great result, and it would be in line with the rest of our results this year. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Isn't it? Like, so
you need to take a wider lens, right? But it's hard to do that when you go through a run of form like this, and even this form is not as bad, right? Like City had a run where they lost. I think, was it 13 games, or like they won 1 in 14 or some craziness. Liverpool had a stinky run this season. It's just because of the jeopardy and like how much is at stake to have these stuttering performances and results at this crucial time. The impact is gonna, like, it feels like it's just like shaken the Premier League, and then all the rival fans jump in. But I think honestly, you three, we all know it. The underlying reasons are like, Io doesn't love Arteta, so therefore, like, he needs to see more to convince him. I feel like it's fair, which is fair. If you're skeptical, or you're not having someone, they need to do more to convince you, right? That the same applies in normal life. Like, if you're not having like a family member's partner, the bar is set differently for them than it would be for someone that you were either neutral or positive about, right? Whereas I think Reza and Jonty have not felt as skeptical of Arteta. And therefore the bar is a bit lower for what he needs to do. And by the way, the bar's already really high because you're challenging for the league. So it's all relative. But that's what it's going to come down to. You're going to need to see more, some of you, and some of you don't need to see as much.
And that's fine. And this will be the last thing I say directed towards Io, right? It's just, if there's an agenda, just call out the agenda and say that's the agenda. Don't hide behind other things or other reasons, right? Just be clear. Everything that you're saying is in the context of you hating Arteta, and he's going to need to do more for you to ever be positive about us. But truly, my agenda, Io, here's my one and only agenda, which makes me fight back on you every single time you come in negative, right? Is all that same shit that Antony just said about all of the teams hating us and me fucking getting told that everybody wants us to lose when I'm in Poland, yeah? The key of all of that is we have enough like people that fucking hate us outside of this team. I don't need, nor do I want to hear more people that are supposed to support us be as negative, if not more negative, than all of the rival fans that hope that we fucking fall.
I just don't. I'm completely with you. I just have my opinion on that, and I'm just not going to support him blindly for it. And
that's actually where it started. That's where it started, by the way. That's where it started, by the way. The crash outs, the AFTV, and chill, like all of that sort of stuff in it. Like, that's what fuels this, isn't it? Like, people say they hate Arsenal or they hate Arsenal fans. I don't actually think that's actually true. I think it definitely sounds like that person.
Khem does.
Khem's barely a person. So when I say people, I'm talking about, sentient individuals that deserve rights and stuff like that.
You're on mute though. Thank God he's on mute.
But when we're talking about like the level of stuff like that, it did start off with this whole like something bad happens and Arsenal fans spiral, and like the Brentford and QPR and like Fulham fans that I know from like around like this side of London, for example, in particular, like I don't think any of them really have a problem with Arsenal. I think they like, I saw a Fulham fan on an internet series the other day talking about the fact that his team have never won anything ever. You know what I mean? And then you get Arsenal fans who talk like the world is ending, the sky is falling, Ayo Kunle, because the team has come second in the top division in Europe 4 years in a row or whatever the number is now. Do you know what I mean? And I think personally, anecdotally, I would say that is probably a greater driver of these other, because I just mentioned a bunch of teams, I don't want to say irrelevant, but like Stoke lady, bloody fucking irrelevant. No. Stoke is irrelevant, bruv. Like, if you need to worry about Wrexham and them, man, I don't care about your opinion on this. What does Khem call it? Red cartel? All of that. We're running that back for this stuff, yeah? You can't support them, man. And anyway, but that's where I think it comes from. I think it comes from the fact that we act like the sky is falling every time when actually we are fortunate to follow the Arsenal, which is one of the greatest fucking football teams in the world, if not the greatest.
Can I say my last thing? Then we can finally be done with it.
Next topic.
And then, we'll be definitely next topic. It's outrageous to be fair, but it's what happens when people join the pod late,
Yeah, them man didn't show up.
Exactly. So we had to keep filling the void. But no, my thing, I'll tell you, we're never going to be alike. But I've never like Arteta, how I see Arteta and Arsenal Football Club, he's like Mark Jackson for the Golden State Warriors before they got Steve Kerr, and that's how it's going to be for me. Like he's got us back to relevancy. He's built us back up the same way Mark Jackson got the Golden State Warriors up to that place, but he couldn't take them to the promised land. And maybe Arteta does it this year, maybe he doesn't. But for me, I just think there's a limitation that comes with him as a manager. I don't like it. I don't think we're going to like it. And if he does get us the Prem, then happy days. I'm going to be happy. I will celebrate. I will be there. But it is just, and of course it will be. But that's just it for me, Arteta. And I don't. Maybe not. Maybe I'll still be there. Whether I just won't go with you guys. Happy days, mate. Might bump into you if anything. But I'll find a way.
I'll put a sticker on your back that says Arteta hater. I'll put a sign on your back. Every time I go near you, I'm going to put an Arteta hater sticker on you so everyone knows who you are.
There'll be a group of us, I'm sure of it, mate. You bring a lot of stickers. But no, exactly.
I'm just going to post a picture of you on the internet and say that you're a Tottenham fan.
We'll see how the season goes, but yes, that is it for me. But we'll see. Yeah, big game this weekend.
That's massive. Yeah, all right, guys. Arsenal fans, you've got a whole hour pod basically, so enjoy that one. We'll crack on now to the other teams involved. Khem, we'll get your quick analysis on Liverpool because I know you're a bit under the weather, not feeling great, and then the rest of us will drop our opinions. But yeah. Liverpool out of the Champions League, losing 2-0 at home to PSG. Quite a spirited performance. A lot of chances. Van Dijk had one cleared off the line by Marquinhos, by the way. What a challenge that was. I don't know if you man saw it. Unbelievable tackle. And then, two late-ish goals from Dembele. 4-0 on aggregate. And then, coming off the weekend where you guys got a win, 2-0 as well. So, Khem, do you want to give your opinions quickly? I know you feel obviously very strongly about Slot. Please bear in mind, our warning at the beginning of the pod when you give your analysis. But yeah, how are you feeling right now?
I'm very drunk. So,
and why are you
whether
drunk?
Whether you condoned it at the start of the pod or not, I've been drinking excessively. Because of Slot, and I was late to this fucking pod, and these lots of tears and whatever they're talking about. I don't know what they're crying for. They're through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and they're 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League. They're probably fucking infighting. So I'm glad I missed that shit. And that's just if to answer their own question why they hated, there was their example. I'll watch it back. So if anyone wants to know why Arsenal fans are hated, I'll just rewatch the first hour of these donkeys going at it. I have nothing. It's best I don't say too much because I don't want our podcast to get cancelled. As you clearly saw how enraged I was last night. So you asked me before the fixtures about the City game. I gave you a one-word answer. You said, "Are we going to lose?" I said, "Yeah." That was it. You asked me the PSG game. I gave you one-word answer. I said nothing. So lo and behold, it's just true. We didn't score in either game. And that's it. So yeah, that's it. I've got nothing more to say.
Yeah, and you're still slot out, yeah?
At this point, I just do whatever. Either give the guy a contract or sack him. It doesn't really matter if it's in the summer or now, in my opinion. If you're gonna back him. Like, just have some clarity, because the start of the season when we were winning games, which was quite clearly, in hindsight, extremely fortunate victories, whether it be late goals, teenagers fucking winning it for us, or miracle free kicks, he was having contract extension talks. We started losing a few games. The contract talks went silent. We lost 9 out of 12. They went dead silent. The cunt lost to fucking Forest, followed by PSV getting slapped up like 3-0 and 4-1 at home, and he was still here. Publicly back him then. Don't use your little weasel journalists like Ornstein and Fabrizio and all these other fucking dipshit cunts we don't care about. Just say it, bruv. Like, it's okay.
This is an AA meeting, bruv.
It's okay for an employer to back their employee. It happens in all walks of life. Sometimes you fuck up and you get sacked, and sometimes you fuck up and they say, "It's all right, we're going to make it out the hood." Say it then, innit? Like, just give us a situation where we know, all right, Xabi gets sacked. I'm not going to watch La Liga games hoping Real Madrid fuck up because you'll become available, because we know we're not going to bother with this guy. Like, it's better off we just know where we stand, okay? Give the guy an extension. Just say it with your chest. He's our guy. We did a big-ass presentation to John Henry. We actually stopped him from spending money on his wife, reprofiling her body, or buying a super yacht, or whatever, and they actually bought players for the first time in fucking God knows when, right? We actually broke the transfer record twice. They committed to this bastard, yeah? To this egg, all right? So stick with it then. Stick with the egg. Or just say, do you know what, we're done out. Because it's been evident all season he's not going to turn it around. Okay? I've had like 15 sabbaticals this season, and now I'm fucking slurring my words on a live stream, okay? We're like, we've got fans like walking out early, and you got Sabozlai wondering why we're walking out early. Bruv, you lost 4-0. Like, well, don't ask why we lost. Well, we're leaving early, bruv. They don't want to be in Manchester after getting clapped. That's like the worst place you could be if you've just lost the game. Okay? It's already a shit city. Now, to go there and you lose sucks, right? Like, it's just at this point, I don't care if I'm not slot in or out anymore. I'm just pick a story so we know we're going. Are they going to throw a load of money at this guy in the summer? Because they're going to buy more players, because there's a lot of positions need fixing. Are you going to commit to this manager? Just go from the off now. So, because how are you going to attract players looking like the way we look? Like, you got to commit to this guy and just make it clear we're going to have this bum or this egg, or maybe it was like, just whatever. Just pick now. I don't understand waiting until the summer. Like, I'm not going to say what I was saying last night.
Please God.
Because I don't want us to get kicked off like certain man got kicked out of Wireless. So, like, because that can happen. I do think that there's similar reasons, but like, let's just.
I'm sure this guy's mid burpee while he's speaking and everything. Right,
I need one sec, water break.
He's belching and stuff while he's speaking.
I just don't understand anymore. Like, Richard Hughes is linked with, like, he's been linked with Saudi Arabia. He's been linked with Saudi Arabia for like 6 months. Like, just fuck off and go, or don't go, or you're not going because you can't fly there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking make a decision on yourself as well, Richard Hughes. They've shelved the whole multi-club rubbish because apparently it's not very profitable, whatever. Well, you knew that it was quite evident before you wanted to do it, that it's not being profitable for many clubs. Football as a whole isn't actually very profitable for most clubs, for crying out loud. Most teams are in debt. You'd know that very well, Ning Yu. So, like, Edwards is back for what reason, basically? If that's all you wanted to do and you don't really want to stick it out, why are you sticking around for another year? Fuck off. Take your shit laptop with you as well. Take Hughes with you as well. Like, I'm just so over it. Like, you're backing a guy that has struggled all season. And the worst thing is, like, they didn't like buy him any players in January. So are you backing him or not? Because the whole Gahey thing was right there. Yeah, Semenyo, other players. There's plenty of centre backs in the world. We had Joe Gomez. So let's not count him. Kanate has been lost all year. He's mentally gone. I don't know where he is, but he's not here. He's with that damn Artemis fucking rocket somewhere up in space. Yeah, he's done it. So like, just if you really wanted to back this guy, you'd have supported him with some players, because we had a lot of injuries in the season. You could have like given him a couple of players, because he doesn't trust the youth. He doesn't trust the rotation guys. He doesn't give a shit about them. He really cares about 14 players in the whole squad. And especially if they're Dutch. So like, support him there and then. Otherwise, just fire him. Like, I don't know what we're doing. So they're clearly committing to this guy, supposedly. I don't know what it is. This whole like doing it the right way thing. We've lost 17 games this season. There's nothing right about that.
It's
We've
18.
lost more. Is it 18 now? They're going to break the record. I think the record was like the Hodgson
more than
Dalglish.
Amram. More than Amram, yeah.
It's more than Amram, exactly. What does that say? Well, I mean, you guys kept him as well.
Says
So
a
I don't
lot.
know what they're drinking up in the fucking Northwest, yeah, because they're making terrible decisions basically anyway. So I don't know. They stopped having the tap water up there because they're tapped. But like, yeah, I sound like Rhys just crashing out over the board now. But I don't see how you can just continue with this. Like, if they're happy to miss out on Champions League money, then they're fine.
you're the originator of the monologue crash out. I don't want you to put that on Rhys. You laid the groundwork for this, sir. So you're just doing what you do, man.
But yeah, I just don't see I don't really know. Usually like you can sort of see the idea behind what your club is kind of trying to do. Whether it be the manager, he's a young coach. You kind of think, all right, you want to stick with it, whatever. I don't actually understand what Liverpool plan to do, because you're letting key players. You're letting key people go in his career. He's a young coach, but I just don't get this lot. I don't understand what they're planning to do. Genuinely, I don't know. I feel like they're at the wheel and they're drunk basically, and like the fucking windscreen is covered in shit and they can't see where they're going, yeah, and they're just swerving left, right. I don't think they know what they're doing. You got we don't
condone drink driving, by the way. Drink responsibly. Don't drive after you've drunk.
Gamble, please. Everything.
Gamble responsibly, yeah. All of that stuff. Don't listen to Khem. Yeah.
Go G and greet, all sorts. But like calm down. It's just we might as well, because I mean Slot loves to go to Ibiza all the time, doesn't he? Like when it's international break, he's flying out. Like I don't care. No, that's it. No, you asked me to say my point. Yeah, that's how.
It's been 10 minutes since then. Come on, we have to get other opinions.
Hour of shit. You had an hour of absolute shite, right? I'm getting off my chest. I don't understand what this club's direction is. I genuinely don't understand what this club's direction is no more. Like, I don't give a fuck about top Reds. I don't give a shit about them. They're not that important. All they do is bring flags to the COP, and even they've stopped doing it because they raise the ticket prices and they're crying about that. Like, everything's gone wrong right now, man. So yeah, we have people out of contract that are supposed to be the leaders and the direction of this team, like the CEO, the sporting director, and the manager. They're all literally in their final 12 months. Like, what are we doing with this situation right now? That's genuinely why I'm crashing out, because it's like, are you actually going to be here in the next 12 months? Because then it's another reset. So it's either piss off now,
end of the season,
and just get some new people in, or extend and be through, and we just stick this out. And if we're gonna have another garbage year, then whatever. And then we'll understand what's it going to be. Is it a project now for a little bit, buy young players and wait? I don't know. Is that Razor? I don't even know.
Hey, we don't need a copyright strike.
It's one of the Arsenal fans, because they used to remixing our songs anyway.
Yeah. So all right, we hear you, man. You're in limbo. You obviously would prefer Slot and the guys responsible for this season to depart, but you just want a decision one way or the other. Jonty, I'll come to you, mate. What do you think will happen? Do you think there's any chance Arne Slot will actually survive this season or at the end of the season? or do you think it's nailed on that he's leaving?
Yeah, I think we were talking about this in the group chat yesterday. I think the thing that you got to worry about if you're a slot hour is that the leadership of the team, right? Hughes and will they'll give in to their hubris and essentially just keep him because they think they know better. They'll ignore the fans. They'll think, it'll be sunken cost fallacy where they've put 500 million to a squad for him and this, that, and the other, and so they'll keep him and spend more money. So I think that is a possibility. But just like I said in the chat earlier, I think if it gets more toxic from the fan base, if people are walking out more frequently, if you continue to lose, if you don't make Europe, I don't think it's the money thing. I think you're fine financially. I think it's the embarrassment and the negative PR that will come from it. Those are the things that could potentially force your leadership to get rid of Slot. Because I think more so than anything, and this is really evidenced by the fact that they've got such a close relationship with David Ornstein, and they're like clearly always trying to pump like positive PR into the media. Based off of that, I'd argue that they probably care quite about what their reputation looks like from the external point of view. So if it gets really ugly out here, that's where I think they get rid of Slot. And I think if they didn't get rid of him already, if you think about it from the perspective of, let's say, a Man United board or a Chelsea board, right? They would have sacked him off already, right? All of this going on in the media, the fans being upset, the results, like a more ruthless board would have got rid of him already. So you just have to think to yourself, why have they kept him around? And I think it really gets back to the former option that I gave, which is I think they know better. They think that they put a lot of money into this guy already. They've already basically got rid of their best option. Think about how fairy tale it would have been to get Xabi Alonso in, right? That would have been the perfect person to get in. And that seems to have completely gone away now. So for them to now then say, okay, at the end of the season, we're going to get rid of Slot and then go and look around for someone else, that to me, I find that hard to believe. So I genuinely do think there's quite a high chance that they keep him through the summer. And just like Khem says, they go and back him again and get him more players and spend more money on him. And, we're not necessarily back here in the same position next year because you never know, right? He went from being really good one season to really bad one season. Who's to say he doesn't get really good again next season if he gets the right players in? You never know, right? So I think you could theoretically be back here next season in the same time of the year and Slot is still Liverpool's coach.
Yeah, I hear you. Rhys, what do you reckon, mate? Because, I wasn't only joking when I was correcting Khem about the losses. 18 losses is a lot. John's mentioned a lot of that stuff, and I kind of agree, but can it get any worse? 18 is a lot, man. You know what I mean? I know the league position 5th or whatever it is not it's not 15th like us last season, so obviously there's a lot worse it could get. But in terms of the number of losses, the way they're losing, what does he have to do to get sacked, basically?
I reckon if he doesn't qualify for Champions League, they'll get rid of him. Because I think that was a massive outlay last summer, and I think that'll be looked at as a failure. If not, I think if he does, because the losses won't matter if he does get into Champions League, I think they'll give him time to reset and maybe go again. But I do think I think at least he's got to get them that top 4 spot.
Struggling to even get 5th, mate. Forget top 4. He's fighting for 5th. How the fuck have we gone from singing 20 times to having basically 20 losses, mate? Absolute gimp.
Beautiful. Poetic, some might say.
Fucking egg.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's rough. All right. Arsenal man, Razor, Io, what do you reckon? We'll get your opinions on this Liverpool thing before we move on to Chelsea and United, which obviously me and Rhys will struggle through. Razor, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Slot has a chance? Are you leaning more towards Jonty, or do you think Rhys is more correct that it's black and white? Get Champions League and you're in, don't get it and you're out.
I've seen some stuff circulating on the internet. I haven't had a chance to validate or verify it, but I've seen that there are indications that the board want to stick with him. So who knows how far that goes? Do you know what I mean? If there is a condition on that, in terms of what Rhys is saying, in terms of you need to get Champions League or European football, and then we'll stick with you. You came in and you won. it's all right if we have a season that's not as good as we'd like it to be, but like European football is a must, for example. And to be honest, I think that's fair. And I applaud it. And Khem was like, you know, how have we gone from singing 20 times to nearly having 20 losses? But surely one potentially provides a bit of leeway for the other. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, amongst the mandem in the group chat, we know Khem was saying sometimes your employer backs you. Thankfully, Slot and very few other people actually work for Khem, because I don't think he feels like backing his employees. I feel like if Slot was his employee, he would have hung him out to dry by now. But yeah, I just think in the world of football, something like that will win you some favor, will have some leeway, especially with, you know, not like the passion merchants and the fans and the top reds, but like the bottom line guys, the laptop nerds, like the people who are looking at it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you said, it's not like a Tottenham season or a United last season. It might be a little bit knee-jerky, a little bit reactive. And then you almost start the issue again of who do you get in? Who's the right person for that? Do you know what I'm saying?
But you ain't working with shit players, though. That's the issue. United and Spurs are a majority shit players. There's some decent players in that squad. And every time they go for the international break, they're dropping like 7.5, 8, 9s out of 10, come back 2 out of 10. And they're like they've never kicked the ball in fucking months. And it's just like, that's coaching. You can't, a bunch of good players, if it's 1 or 2, you're out of form, fair enough. But when they're all shit, that's the coaching. And he also can't even keep them fit.
Or they're shitter than you think, which is also a possibility.
Have any of the clubs
they're not garbage players though, bro. You know, they're not garbage players. Like let's just look at our first 11. They're not shit.
No,
they're not this.
I agree. I agree with that. I'm not saying what I said doesn't equal they are shit players. What it equals are they are worse than you think they are.
They're not.
So
they're
you
not
might
20
think
losses.
they're
They're not
fair,
20
but I mean-
losses bad though. They're not getting. They shouldn't be getting clapped 4-0 and fucking 2. I go
But
into
they've
matches
also still got a
expecting how
lot of
many we're
people
going to
in that
concede.
team. Also, still got a lot of people in that team from last year. I know that we're talking about Verts and all these other lot, but a lot of them,
That's
like
what I'm saying.
the vast majority of the people that have started for them are the exact same players that they had last year.
A lot of them played for Klopp,
get
and we
your
were still
point.
coming like comfortably top 4. They're not this bad.
But also, if it were truly about Champions League, I mean, they're not miles away from doing it, but they're further away than they were before. Like, why wouldn't you just sack him off in the January when that was what you really cared about? If you really cared about Champions League, and Xabi Alonso was available roughly around that time, why wouldn't you say, hey, you know what? This guy's got a way better chance of getting us Champions League, and Slot doesn't know what he's doing, so we'll sack him off quickly and get this new guy in so that we definitely get Champions League. That's where I think the Champions League thing, I honestly don't think it matters that much to them. Right? They're flush with money off of what happened last year. They went relatively deep into the Champions League this year, so they get money for that as well. As they always say about the net spend and all this other stuff, they put loads of money out. You know, there was a lot of money going out just as much as it was like, you know, a lot of money coming in as much as there was going out. So I think if it was really about Champions League and it was really about making that money for next year, even that doesn't really track with the logic of this argument. Like, why wouldn't have they attacked him when they were closer off? Because if you were a leader looking at the league this year, you think, you know what, even if we're shit, we've still got a good chance of getting in, because the other 3 teams that are fighting for Champions League are also shit. You know, if it was like 4 crazy teams and they were like miles ahead of everyone else, I could see that argument.
Never is.
No, I know it never is,
Never
but
is.
you know, like let's say the proper big 4, big 6 before, where there was more of a gap, right, and the mid-table wasn't so flat, you could potentially say, you know what, actually forget about Champions League, let's just keep him into the end of the season, there's no point. But if they really cared about Champions League, that even doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't they sack him off and get someone that was actually going to get them Champions League? It's wide open. Chelsea can't, I mean, we'll go through them next. They can't seem to buy a fucking win at this point. Aston Villa look good in the Europa League only. Like, this is wide open. They could easily, I'm not saying an Igor Tudor, but they could get in a fucking half decent manager and definitely make it into the Champions League. Whereas Slot looks like he could somehow come out at the end of this with no European football, let alone Champions League.
There's not many players from this team that could turn around and say I could come away and say my 25-26 season was good. Like, there really isn't. Like, maybe one player. Like, genuinely, that's the manager. I couldn't turn around and say I couldn't even give Wirtz a 5 out of 10 for the season. Like, you couldn't do that. You couldn't, but he goes for his country. It's fucking fine. Like, it's to Johnny's point. I don't understand like what's going on with this guy, and he's definitely lost the dressing room because Robertson was trying to leave in January, bruv. Like the Roberts, this Spurs thing was January. Curtis Jones was trying to leave in January. You got players that were there long term.
We're not talking about Curtis Jones. Come on, man. I have to draw the line.
I'm just saying, like players were trying to dip in mid-season. They were trying to
imagine trying to escape to Spurs as well.
That's my point. Again, you're being like fucking obtuse. Like Jonty should host this. That's my point. Like he was trying to leg it mid-season. Because the manager plays him right back. Curtis is playing right back. Or
I get your point.
McAllister ahead of him. McAllister can't even run.
We're getting too granular. I get your point. I'm not disagreeing with your overarching point. I'm just saying, stop at Robertson and let's move on. Let's get Ayo's point now, and we'll move on to Chelsea.
The ability of the player. I'm just saying, players are trying to.
I know. I get it. I get your point.
Mid-season with a long contract still on their hands. Like, I want to go to Spurs. Do you know how bad it is if you say I want to go to Spurs, bro?
No, I know.
Antony, don't worry. Khem's taking my minute. Khem's taking my minute of dialogue. Don't worry. Khem's had it. It's him watching him.
I'm surprised you have the energy to
brings me joy. Watching him crash out brings me joy anyway, man. His suffering is wonderful to watch. So it's good. It's good. This brings me more joy than you know. So honestly, I don't need to add to it. This is stark contrast.
All right, let's go on. Let's move on to Chelsea then, because I mean that will probably bring you joy as well, knowing how much you hate Chelsea. So Chelsea 0, Man City 3. First half was pretty even. Second half smoked you out your boots. Absolutely battered you. Cherky running the show. O'Reilly, Gahey's with an unbelievable striker's finish, to be honest. I mean, I wish Sesko could finish like that. That was class. And then, third goal to top it off from Doku as well. Rhys, it's not looking good, bro. I can't remember the last time you won a match. It's been a rough run, bro. How do you see this chase now? Because, you know, some people are talking about Europe. I think for Liverpool, they'll get Europe. Champions League still not, obviously, it's up for grabs. But Chelsea's the one where you've got like 3 other teams, like 1 point behind you, 2 points behind you. That is genuinely a European race, not only a Champions League race. How you feeling, bro?
I just look now. It's actually from 10th to 6th. There's 2 points. So, make of that what you will. I'll save the crash out this week. I mean, we've had enough of those. I don't want to get us all the way cancelled. But it's not good. Obviously, if you look at it, I think we've conceded like 15 goals and scored none. And I know I'm not counting Port Vale as any goal scored there. I said it before, like, I think when all this stuff happened with Maresca, I said we might have shot ourselves in the foot, and it's just come to fruition, to be honest. So, I think you just look in the dugout, you could kind of see the stark difference just between the managers there and just the tactical kind of nous. You say it was even in the first half. That's probably because City wanted it to be even in the first half and they didn't step up a gear. It's just we're way off the pace, man. Defensively, we're shocking. I've never seen us concede so many goals. We're coming up against big teams. We're getting embarrassed. We could finish 10th, like with the points difference and what's going on. And it's all on them at the top, to be honest, because just from years now, it's just been poor decision making. I think the briefs, they just get worse every day. I think just people coming out and saying you need time. Well, how much time do we need? They've been here for like 4 or 5 years. It's just it's just me repeating myself, to be honest. Like, we're shit and we're not we're quite happy with mediocrity. The fans aren't, but I think they are at the top. As long as they make a profit, I think they awarded themselves with a pay rise recently. I saw online. I mean, and then all these like you just see like tweets of like Chelsea pulling out of deals. Like I saw the Elise one pulling out because it's too much money, but you spent fucking 90 million on Gittins and Garnacho. It's just like the math is not mathing right now with this team and these directors. I just don't get it. Like what you've spent all this money for a low wage base, but why not just you'd have saved money if you'd have spent it correctly and paid the wages that the top players require. So I think we'll just I've got no faith while this project continues. Is it a project? I don't know what it is. We've got Strasbourg coming over against Man United this weekend to protest. It's just all a mess, man, and I think it's just going to get worse. We could end up like Spurs next year if like they continue the way they're going. And then so until they kind of, because it's just you can't win. The thing is, like, you've built these players with potential maybe 2 years ago under Poch. You then let that carry on with Maresca. You then strip the team out and then shoved another load of players down his throat that are young that they need to develop again. And it's just it's a cycle that's not going to get you nowhere. So I think we're in the mud right now, and I think Racine is just like, he's a nice guy, man, but what the fuck do nice guys win? Like, let's be honest. Like, they don't get nothing. Like, what do you get for being humble? Like, so I just think he is out of his depth, and the more it goes on, the more he's just going to get embarrassed. Like, do you honestly think we're going to go next week at Wembley and beat Leeds? Because I don't. Like, where is this win coming from? Like, I just can't see it. Like, Man United, no. I don't know. But if we finish 10th, like I said, like, it's like, as mad as I'll be, it's on them. It's not on like it's not on anyone else. They put this team out.
A little bit on the players though.
Yeah, but the players, we knew they weren't good enough. We knew there were deficiencies in this squad. We knew we lacked a quality defender. We knew we lacked a quality goal scorer. We knew we lacked a quality goalkeeper. Like, João Pedro's goals have dried up. Like, Palmer, we need to have a conversation about Palmer and his form. Like, it's you can put it on the players, but it's the manager also. Like, we had everything to play for in January, and they literally just pissed on all of it. Like, so it's more on them. It's way more on them. It could, like, we knew the players weren't good enough, and we had an opportunity in the summer window to go and get certain players. Like, you wouldn't pay an extra 5 million for Mike Maignan. Like what the fuck? Like, Levi Colwill was injured. You couldn't get an adequate replacement. We got Fofana picking up more speeding tickets than fucking making tackles. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, players wanting out, calling out the project for what it is. Like, you've got Liam Delap coming off the bench. Like, does he look like a real number 9? Like, it's just the quality of the team is not there, and they are happy to sacrifice this quality for a bit of profit so they can move players on and just like flip this cycle again. As long as we get top
you keep
four.
Talking about profit. Did you not record one of the biggest losses a football team has ever seen?
This is what I don't understand. I don't know what the project is. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm so confused at this point. I said the math ain't mathing. Like, you're talking about all these player sales and like net spend and like buying this player and then moving him on, but then it's just like you're recording these losses, like some of the biggest losses ever recorded in football. I don't get it.
Bro, the math is the math is mathing, but for us to do that formula and calculation on here, we're going to have to slap about 50 allegedlys after nearly every single claim that we make. Because the way you make profit this way, posting up losses all over the place, most of us can figure it out. But it's not going to show up on the line items on the spreadsheets.
They need to be stopped. They need to be stopped, bro. Is there like a sanction or something?
He knows all about sanctions.
He knows about the sanctions, yeah. The thing is, though, the mismanagement is mad. And I know some of the like Chelsea content creators have been meeting with some of the directors and stuff like this, and all this kind of stuff has come out. And I think the most alarming thing, other than the fact that they're useless and the players have been shit, is that they actually think they're doing a good job. And that you hear from a lot of these content creators when they're speaking to the directors that they believe in their model and their project and they think they've done a pretty good job. That is the Ed Woodward style of management that I recognize too well, which is being completely useless but thinking that you're doing a decent job. I don't know how they're using metrics to convince themselves that, but they think that. So if they keep thinking that, that's the way that you're going to head the direction that you're talking about. I agree. It's dark, bro.
Like, bro, you could count, like, how many sporting directors have we had? Like, and even ones that have come in and saw the project for what it was and left. We interviewed Luis Enrique for the job, Nagelsmann for the job. They both turned around after we sacked Potter and said, this ain't the project for us, because it's a ridiculous, like...
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
It's like a ridiculous way of like doing things. They're not football people, and this is the thing. Like, they're relying on, I think I saw something about Egbali coming out and saying like, oh yeah, not a lot of teams rely on data. There's a reason for that, bro. Like, because we need to do the eye test and what we see with our eyes. And like, also there's a lot of different variables to create a winning team. Like, it's not just young players that you are going to develop. And in the end, like, you're developing them and you're moving on. You're not even developing the team because you're putting in new players to try and build another team. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's just a horrible cycle. And like I said, yeah, like the cynic in me, like, we should finish 10th. Good. Like, that'll teach you a lot. But like, obviously, like the realist in me, like, no, the fan in me doesn't want that. Like, obviously, I want us to succeed. I don't have any faith in us going to Wembley next week and like go. And even then, if we get through to the final, we got Man City. It's just going to be another embarrassing day at Wembley. Like, I don't want to see that. So, yeah, man, yeah, we're in trouble.
With the eye test, though. What's your thoughts on Caicedo? Because the eye test is looking a bit blurry. A bit, yeah, it's looking a bit blurry.
I can't. I've nothing like
I heard a lot about Caicedo this year.
The whole thing with like performances wise, like, I can't say anyone's really standing out. Even like I said, João Pedro had his wave of form, but he's dropped off. Like, we're not even scoring goals. We're not creating nothing. We're conceding stupid goals as well. Got battered off the pitch at Everton's ground. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah. So like, even Moises popping us off the pitch. What's going on? Like, you can just see, like, when a man's out of his depth, and like you like, at this point, it's not even. I'm not even mad at him because I didn't like. It's not him. It's not his fault. He wasn't put there. Like, this is Chelsea. This is supposed to be an elite level football club, and we're putting people that have had no Premier League experience in the dugout, and we're just relying, like, because we want to develop them and make them better. It's just a ridiculous way of doing things, and I just feel like the more it goes on, like, you can think you're doing a good job, but we all see with our eyes kind of the job you're actually doing. So yeah, I think it will continue if we carry on this way. But
I feel like you've created the rod for your own back. Because these are American, like, these are American owners, American leaders, right? So when you lot ran around saying world champions, are you sure that they didn't get the idea that you are now like the champions of the world, and this is just like a friendly NBA, like a friendly, like a pickup league that you play, while you're getting ready for the Club World Cup again? Maybe they think that you just play a real league every 4 years or whatever.
What that actually did, though, that made them believe in their project. That made them think, oh, we don't need to go and buy this player and that player to compete because we've obviously just won this Club World Cup. So I think that inflated their heads a little bit and made them think that, oh yeah, we're actually onto something here. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we've got this covered. We don't need a goalkeeper. We don't need a defender. And like, so I think that kind of it led them into a false sense of security. And then it just kind of went downhill from there, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So, yeah, looking rough for Chelsea, firmly in the battle for European football now. Let's go on to United, another team. Man United, another team in the Champions League race. Another poor performance. 2-1 defeat to Leeds at home. Man sent off for pulling hair in that. Leeds absolutely battered us. That's just the end of it. They absolutely battered us. And Daniel Farker, to come to our ground, play the formation that our first manager from the season played, but play it better than he ever did, and go man-to-man everywhere and win every single duel and just run us ragged with fucking Calvert-Lewin and Stroik and Carl Darlow, who just sounds like someone saying Dallow in a funny accent. They battered us, man. And big them up. I like Farker. Hate Leeds, but they deserve the win. It's only sweeter because now they pulled away from Spurs. And obviously that puts Spurs in an even worse predicament. But in terms of our performances, we literally only played half decent when we went down to 10 men in the last 20 minutes or so. The first 70 minutes, we had no answers. And the fact that Carrick didn't make a substitution at half-time when we had so many diabolical performances. But obviously Manuel Ugarte was an obvious one because he couldn't pass wind. And he still stayed on for the second half. You have to look at Carrick as well and go, what's going on? Because
you mentioned being down to 10 men.
So obvious.
Did you think it was a red card?
Yeah, we'll go through that really quickly because the game, I think you guys all agree, Leeds slapped us. There's not much more to discuss around that. They totally deserve to win. Whether it's the eye test or whether it was Io's favourite XG, they battered us everywhere. Across every metric, they deserve to win that game. In terms of the decisions, the only thing I will say, I actually think Yoro's fouled for the first goal, but it doesn't matter. They should have scored other goals as well. I think the hair pull thing, I didn't know about that rule. And once I found out, okay, fair enough, is a hair pull. But this isn't even Romero and Cucurella type of hair pull. He hasn't even pulled the man's hair out of the little, I was going to say something that was going to put me in, jeopardy of ending the pod.
Don't worry.
It hasn't pulled his samurai bun out of his head, and yet he's been given a red card for a hair pull. So I don't agree with it as a rule. That rule is absolute shit, and that referee is an absolute twat. And
when is it okay to pull hair? Unless you're in pull it. When is it okay to pull hair, bro?
Bro, it's not okay to pull hair. But if that's going to be a red card, right? Anytime someone touches another player's head, right? Because if you say to me he was trying to yank his hair back with full force, like I said Romero did to Cucurella, or I think someone did to Semenyo last week and no one got a red card for that. What are we doing here, right? It's absolute bullshit. First of all, Calvert-Lewin smacks Martinez in the face and you can see he's off balance, grabbing him. He's not intending to pull man's hair out of the thing. That's why his weak little, whatever it was, holding his samurai bun didn't even come out. You can't tell me that a man with full force would not be able to release man's hair from a bun. So you can say, is pulling hair okay? No, it's not. But that rule is shit. That wasn't an offence that deserved a red card, but it doesn't matter because we were diabolical and Leeds deserved to win. So they were beating us with 11 men. We actually played better because of that decision. So you know what? Fuck it. It actually helped my team. But we still lost the game and we deserved to lose the game. And Martinez, if he doesn't, you know what? The only thing I will actually agree with you on, Khem, is Martinez is a fucking prat because I cannot know the rules. The fucking players need to know the rules. They need to know the rules.
I just think generally in society it's not okay to pull hair.
Yeah, oh well.
Unless you pull your hair. But there's no need to. So I don't know. You can't
it was stupid.
Biting's not okay. Yeah. Pulling hair is not okay.
Yeah, you know about biting and
exactly. It's not okay. But VAR wasn't around then.
We'll draw the line on that because we don't want to dig deep into Suarez's back catalogue because that will make you look spooky. But this game was terrible. We were terrible. Big up Leeds, man. They deserve to win. I think I saw somewhere they didn't win in 21 years or something at Old Trafford. So there you go. That's a record gone. And yeah, the only thing that is an indictment of your shit team, Khem, so don't go back in a monologue, is we can lose that game and we're still, 3 points clear of you comfy. So is what it is. That tells you
on the third place trophy or whatever,
the Champions League race is always a bum fight. It's always whoever messes up the least ends up getting the positions. It's just how it is. None of the teams in the race are serious teams at this moment. Some of us have spent 500 million and some haven't, but none of us are serious. So that's just what it is, man. We
Some of us kept
literally yeah, exactly. And where's that gotten you? You should have paid them the 500 million. That would have got you. That would have got you more than crap songs and top breads that aren't willing to put their neck on the line to get rid of shit bald managers. We did that, so learn from us, son. But yeah, we're diabolical, man. That performance was bad. We waited 3 weeks for that. You know what? Just end the season now. I don't want to see more matches. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it was 21 or whatever it was, but it was diabolical either.
No, don't
send them back.
You had 3 weeks off and reduced that.
We were on for a month, mate. But they went to the moon and back since your last game. How long to your next game?
What was you doing for the 3 weeks?
Bro,
Talking
it was
shit.
international, bro. We were together in a picture behind for the first 7 days of that. International games were going on, so it wasn't a special United break. We were all on a break. But yeah, man, it was Eid the last time we talked. Last time we played. So yeah, I hope it's Eid the next time we play. Let's just have a sabbatical like Khem for 365 days, and that'll be the next time we play. But yeah, let's move on from United because we've run crazy over the time limit for this pod. Let's get into the previews. Prediction League update. We all had a fucking stinker this week. Pretty much all of us had a stinker. Johnson's still top, 113 points, 18 correct scores. Rhys is second, 108 points, 19 correct scores. Iowa's third, 104 points and 15 correct scores. Khem is fourth, 101 points and 16 correct scores. Razor's fifth, 98 points and 11 correct scores. I'm sixth, 94 points and 9 correct scores. Nash is still bottom, 79 points and 12 correct scores. Everyone submitted their predictions ahead of time except Nash again. Even after last week, he didn't remember to send them in, so he got absolutely nada. But, he still didn't really fall too much more behind than he already was because we all had such a terrible week. But, yeah, that's what the lay of the land is. Johns, Tottenham-Brighton, what's your prediction?
All right, let me have a little look. All right, I've gone for 2-1 Brighton. The misery continues.
Right. Yeah, De Zerbi struggles. Rhys, what's your prediction for this one, Tottenham-Brighton?
I went 2-2. Don't know why.
All right, 2-2 draw. Io, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone Brighton 2-1 as well.
Fuck
All right, Brighton.
Yeah, shit, I know, right? Piece of shit. Unbelievable.
Khem, what's your prediction in this one? Spurs-Brighton.
I'm just reading what I sent you. I must have had maybe more than the 4 pints, bro. I don't know. It's just the differential thing. I put 1-0 Spurs. Did I really send you that?
You did, and it's locked in. 1-0 Spurs. All right. Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
I have decided to copy the two that keep copying each other. So I've gone 2-1 Brighton as well.
Oh.
All right, 2-1 Brighton. I've gone 1-1 draw, and Nash has not sent anything. All right, Johns. Chelsea United, what's your prediction in this one?
I am going to do something that Chelsea fans are unwilling to do, and I'm going to back Chelsea to win. 2-1.
All right, 2-1. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
He's got a point because I didn't even back us 1-1.
I mean, how could you back it? I mean, I don't even blame him. Fair dues. All right, Io, what's your prediction in this one? Chelsea United.
I've gone 1-1 as well.
All right, 1-1. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
Apparently, I put 2-1 to United.
All right, 2-1. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone 3-2 to United. Chaotic game.
Yeah, I've gone 2-1 United. But that's hopium. All right, Everton Liverpool. Johns, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone 1-0.
All right, 1-0 draw. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
2-0 Everton.
All right, 2-0 Everton. Aya, what's your prediction in this game?
2-1 to Everton. Put the nail in that coffin for Khem. Can't wait.
Mate, he'll be smacked off 8 pints next week if that's the result. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
That's how I know. I Alcoholics Anonymous or something is required because I put 2-1 Liverpool. Apparently, did I really send you this shit? You didn't even check in if I was okay.
Bro, how can I do that? How can I do that with you, man? Too frequent. Razor, what's your prediction for this?
Remember, no TikTok.
Exactly.
No, it's not a TikTok. It was like, hey, bro, are you actually okay? You just sent this over. Like, are you
I don't think he cares.
I don't question predictions. Thank you. Appreciate it. Razor, what's your prediction for this one, Merseyside derby?
2-1 to the Blues.
Up the Toffees. All right. I've gone 1-1 draw. Nash, obviously, yep. TBC. Man City, Arsenal. Bloody hell. This game round has got some big games, isn't it? City, Arsenal. Jonts, what's your prediction in this one?
I'm again going to do something that Chelsea fans really, really like to do. And I'm unfortunately going to back Man City to win 2-0.
Bloody hell, mate.
Oh, mate. Crazy. Crazy times. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? City, Arsenal.
Didn't expect that from Johns. I've gone a 2-1 City.
All right, 2-1 City. Io, what's your prediction in this one? Do I need to ask?
No, talk about a plot twist by Jonty. That I did not see a City.
I'm doing the win-win scenario, right? If we lose, I get a point, or I get 3 points. If we win, I don't get nothing, but I feel happy. So fuck it.
That part, that's kind of the same thinking I went with. I'd be happy if we win, but I did go with a Man City win as well, 2-1. Oh,
wow.
Unfortunately.
All right, Razor. All of our hopes on fans actually supporting their team sits on you.
Yeah, man.
What's your prediction for this one?
You're fucking cowards. Didn't even back your boys. Like, couldn't be like me and predict a 1-1 draw. Hopium.
That's that James B clip where it's 0-0. Yes. What a result. All right. Yeah, I've gone 2-0 City. Yeah. I hope that's not the score, but yeah, that's the score. Glazed donuts emoji incoming. All right. Nash.
Wait,
yeah, sent nothing.
Did I?
Double game week. You did. You said 2-1. Or if you didn't, you sent me 2-1.
Forgotten that he just.
I didn't predict City and Arsenal. You mug. I didn't say 2-1.
Well, all right, but you. Oh, okay. So, Khem, what's your prediction in this City Arsenal game?
No. This counts as a late score. No, that's a late score. He doesn't get to.
No. He sent it through. He sent it through. He just crying.
He just blanked you.
He's crying because he missed out on another 30 seconds of his airtime. But go on.
I'm
City
not crying.
versus Arsenal.
I just clocked. I just was like, hang on a second. Which
Give
game
me your
am I
fucking
predicting
prediction, bro. Give me your
fucking
fucking prediction.
No, I said it to you. You can read it out, mate. Go on. You take over. Have it.
All right,
But
2-1.
I picked
He's
Arsenal,
hanging on by a
guys.
thread.
I picked Arsenal.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He went 2-1 Man City.
2-0. You can't read.
2-0. Sorry. Yeah. All right, cheers, bro. 2-0. All right. Brighton, Chelsea, double game week. Johns, what's your prediction on this one?
Again, I'm going to do something that Chelsea fans do, and I'm going to back them to lose 2-1 Brighton.
All right. Nice. 3 remixes there. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one?
2-2. In hope.
Yeah, in hope. Chelsea against their parent club. All right, Io, what's your prediction in this one?
I'm just going to say, I've seen pessimism, but what I've seen from Rhys is a whole new level of being pessimistic on this pod today. I'm going 2-0 to Brighton, to be fair.
My bro, I've watched us concede 15 goals in 6 games. I've got nothing left.
We need to do Jonty's, like, our average amount of goals per games is that. We need to know the stats. You please search it up quickly. Khem, what's your prediction? Brighton Chelsea.
You sure it's actually my go, mate? I put Chelsea to win 3-1. Don't know why, but I did.
Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Brighton Chelsea.
I put. Oh. Okay. I put Chelsea to win 2-1. I think I meant Brighton, but it's okay.
Scores, man. All right, cool. 2-1 Chelsea. I've gone 2-1 Chelsea as well. No idea why. No analysis, no real thought process. Just hit and hope. All right, Burnley, Man City. Yeah, vibes. I mean, there's not even vibes at Chelsea, so that would be a lie as well. Burnley, City. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
Man City 3-0. It's Burnley. What the fuck do you want me to predict? Do you want me to predict that Burnley are going to beat Man City? What the fuck? Choose a better game for me to do that, bro.
Back Burnley, that's your boys, bro.
Yeah, that's your boys. True. All right, Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Burnley City.
Let me double check. I went 3-0 Man City as well.
Okay, 3-0 Man City. Aya, what's your prediction in this one?
How boring. Yeah, 3-0 as well, City.
What the fuck is going on with you guys, man?
Terrible.
At least fucking mix it up a bit.
Jeez.
This is too bait. What is collusion?
You better not have said 3-0 yourself with this fucking monologue that you're about to do, mate. If I see 3-0 on yours, there's going to be some issues.
I know my own result. Like, obviously I haven't, mate. Come on. Khem, what's your prediction in this one? Burnley City. Let me guess, 3-0.
No, I put 4-1 to City, mate.
Okay, well done.
You've got it written.
Yeah, well done. All right, Razor, what's your prediction in this one? Burnley City?
2-1 Burnley. Joking. 3-0 City. Way.
Oh, what is the point, man? What is the point? All right, I've gone 2-0 Man City. Okay, yeah. All right, I mean, cue Burnley to score 2 goals and we're all fucked. But yeah, anyway, we've all got Man City win for that one.
I'll take it. I'll fucking take that. Burnley, do what you need to do, man.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, cool. We'll wrap up the pod here. Yeah, for those of you, Arsenal persuasion, watch the first hour. That's just for you guys. For those of you who just want bants, you can obviously watch it too. But if you want other stuff, then join after 1 hour. But yeah, we'll be catching up next week to review game week 33. Double game week. Get your FPL stuff in there. I can do a tic-tac for everyone on that one. And also the viewers, if you're watching, get your double game week transfers in. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to drop a like, leave a comment and share the video. And if you're listening on the audio podcasting platforms, follow us and leave a 5-star review. Super appreciated. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Take care, everyone. See you next week.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Colombia's OmniShade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.